So Valheim's latest Mistlands update was absolutely incredible. But what if I told you that you don't have to wait any longer for more content? For I have used my favorite mod pack to finish the game. Using some of the best mods Valheim has to offer, I have brought the final 2 biomes of Valheim to life. We're talking the Deep North and the Ashlands. So follow me as I go on my biggest and best adventure yet. You're not gonna believe what happens at the end. Welcome to the Deep North, one of the most inhospitable places in Valheim. And as this is our new home, I wanted to make something worth remembering. We made one of the most beautiful castles I've ever made. A Norman castle with a dock and a witch's hut on top. The elements here would surely be deadly, so I wanted to make the interior as cozy and as hospitable as possible to give us that edge that we needed to survive in this crazy new biome. But I was not prepared for what we were to become in this new place. This is one of my first encounters with one of my neighbors. Let's see what happens. This is a modded silver golem. They are absolutely huge and they hit way harder than vanilla golems. So I took out my dual swords and I ended them. But that was not the end of this fight, for there was a mini boss called the Forgotten One. This is another mod that comes up randomly, and he spawns a bunch of these frozen corpses that hit really hard. I got in this complete chaotic fight with them, just swirling my swords around like butterflies. I took out the first wave of the frozen corpses so that I was isolated with the Forgotten One, and I could just about block his attack and get in there and do some really good damage. But again, another wave of frozen corpses. They keep coming until you kill the Forgotten One, so you need to just get in there and finish it. After cautiously treading past a herd of icebreaker locks, our main objective was to get the main resource of the Deep North, also known as Metal ore. And we made a friend, a Dvergr, which also exists in the modded Deep North. But that would soon come to a quick end, where this frozen corpse took our friend's life. And although in mourning I had to keep at the task at hand, which is getting a huge pile of Metal ore smelted down, and just look how satisfying it is to knock out an entire deposit in one. So after an exhausting day of mining, smelting and mourning, we went to bed to have the weirdest of dreams.
Where am I? I'm in my old house. Am I alive? Where's my wife? And the kids? Hey kids, where are you?
So there wasn't much of a chance of me getting any more sleep that night, so I went out hunting for the next resource, which is icebergs, but not before I encountered one of the coolest mobs in the modded Deep North, boreal spirits. These guys are calm, they're super cute, and they don't hurt you unless you do a certain thing, which we'll find out later. But I started mining these new icebergs, which you can't do in the vanilla game, and they give you a special ingredient, primordial ice. It has a super low drop rate, which means that you have to grind out quite a lot of icebergs, but that is no problem when they're so plentiful in the Deep North, even if they're a complete pain in the ass to mine. But when you mix this with the smelted metal and a couple other ingredients, you get yourself some of the coolest gear I've ever seen. Dear Celtic explorers, look what we have made. Oh my god, that is insane. Look at this armor set. It's so freaking cool. Oh my god.
I'm so cool. How can I be this cool?
Wow. I am so happy with this armor set. I'm a Serpent Knight. And with some modded Fro Metal weapons on top, we were ready to test them out. Welcome to the neighborhood, the Arctic Wolf, another extremely difficult enemy in the modded Deep North, but not much of a problem with these new weapons and this new armor. A few minutes later we were confronted by more frozen corpses, and again I felt really strong. I was hitting hard, and this new sword in particular was super effective. At this stage I was feeling a bit cocky, so I got both of my swords out, DualWield, and just started going to town on this stone golem. And look, I could even block it, and I went up and I just ended it. You see, my newfound strength started to get to my head a bit, and I thought I could take on this forgotten one easily. But boy was I mistaken, and after making a stupid mistake to try and jump down, that happened. But I had plan B, backup gear, dual swords, and lots of agility. I kept blocking his shots, making sure he didn't hit me with those devastating ice attacks. Get out of the way every single time, make sure I get the hits in. I do a lot of damage, and so does he. He had fooled me once, but I was not going to let that happen again. I had finally bested him. That night, I had another vision. I was back at my home before I died.
But it wasn't mine anymore.
And I was on the edge of the world. That vision sent a shock down my spine, telling me I needed to go into the night and search for boreal spirits. Yet they were different now. They were turned, and with them were these fenrings that I have never seen before. They're called palecoats, and these were terrifying. But I found more boreal spirits. I didn't know why I was killing them, but all I knew is that it would help me in my progression and my way to Valhalla. With a few more hits of this boreal spirit, I got what I was looking for. Ymir's soul essence. It's what I need to summon the Deep North boss, though I didn't even know what that was yet, and I made quick work of this polar locks that tried to get between me and more of these boreal spirits. Something changed in my mind that night, and I started to go berserk. My mind was torn. I said that I would keep these calm spirits safe in this terrible and inhospitable land, but I decided to go against my morals, and that put me up against one of the hardest foes I faced. This is a bloodthirsty fenring, another mini-boss in the Deep North. He was the biggest fenring I've ever seen, and he could jump 100 meters. His claws were covered in blood. Any of his hits could be potentially fatal, but I got my dual swords out and got him cornered. I started hitting him with all of my might, and then got my hammer out to finish the job. With Ymir's soul collected, I took to the seas in search for a Vegvisir to tell me where this boss was, and I found it in a Mistlands cove. I sailed the high seas with Thor on my side, and I found it at the edge of the world. This is the tomb of a giant. I don't know if you could tell, but I had no idea what I was getting myself in for. Look at the size of that dude. Covered in blood, covered in tattoos. This is Yotun, the king of the Deep North, and the king for a reason. That damage scared the crap out of me, so I pulled away and tried to hit him with the bow, but it did nothing. Didn't know what to do, tried to get out the dual swords and just hit him as much as I could, but the damage that he does is insane. Bone mass had to be used, and other mobs are also attacking me. This is pure chaos. I'm taking way too much damage. Every single hit of his can be potentially lethal. And clearly I still have a little bit too much overconfidence because he gets me again. And I have my dual swords out, no real protection. I'm really suffering from it, but not really knowing what else to do. I think the dual swords and some agility are really the best thing. And so I just keep trying to hit him as many times as possible and then duck and weave. That confidence I was talking about, that's gone now. And I'm completely shaken. And this time, he nearly kills me. Those rock attacks get me down extremely low. I don't know what to do, but getting swarmed by Arctic wolves at the same time, meanwhile getting hailed by rocks. I try and get back in with a sword and a shield, but another mini-boss attacks me at the same time, and now I'm completely unaware of what to do. I'm getting attacked on every single side. Pale coat Fenrings, icebreaker locks, silver golem in the background. I didn't think I would get out of there, but I managed to slip away and get stuck back in with Yotun. Night had truly fallen, and I felt like maybe I could do this. Maybe I could actually defeat this boss. So I get past his attacks. I leave my confidence out the window, using my shield, dodging whenever I can, and just hitting him with that one sword. I did it. I defeated Yotun. And what I got could help me progress to the very end of our amazing adventure. I had defeated and conquered the Deep North. But this was only the beginning of the end.